Hmm. Alrighty, chat. Today's a big day. We got our Boston startup mixer going. We're up the office, waiting for guests to arrive. Anticipation is palpable. Let's check out the office. I did one fun thing last night. So I made like a little guide for people that enter. So like this little area right here is the entry pad when people arrive, and I made this little deck to kind of show how to function and use the Gather platform. That was cute. I did it like late last night, and then had to fix all my spelling errors this morning. For huge. There you go. Yeah, that'll work. Sweet. All right, I'll throw in a little music while we wait. Let's play. Let's see here. Bring over. Play some chess while we wait as well. There we go. Now we get this little indicator here, so whenever people start showing up, I'll be able to see. This. Had a great meeting today. Stephen Smith, a fractional CTO, gave me phenomenal feedback on the Rocket Bean business plan to build a virtual co-working and peer group on the Gather platform, and add value and give resources to digital product professionals and entrepreneurs kind of working remotely. So we found out we got somebody. Going on?
Hi, John.
Hello. Welcome to my office.
I can't. I'm gonna. There's so much construction going on where I live. I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
Also, can you say something? I don't know if I can hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can
Sweet.
hear you now. Yeah. So
Nice.
that's cool.
Yeah.
So this event starts in like a minute, right?
Yeah. It goes until 12. It goes until 2.
Gotcha.
See, Marsh joined. Sure, he'll come on up. I built like a little deck last night to show like the controls and how to use GatherTown. Like you mentioned, you've used GatherTown before.
Yeah.
Use it for in college and at Tufts.
Yeah, Tufts had it. The CS department was always really quite quirky with their softwares that they used. So they had GatherTown for office hours, especially during COVID. So you got to like walk around and chat with people, and so that was pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
Did you build this room? Like how I don't really know how GatherTown.
Yeah, I did the interior design. I didn't build the framework. The framework was a little bit of a let me see if I can. I just want to see if I can get Marsh to come join us. Yeah, it was a template that I did like all the interior design, like all the everything inside I built and designed. But this is still like the test phase, so I'm somewhat still in the freemium package. But I'm probably gonna pay for an office eventually. Hey, Marsh. How you doing, buddy? Or you're on mute. Nope, still mute. I think you have to give access, probably, I guess. Stop locating.
Wrong microphone.
There you go.
Cool.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, good to see you, man. Greg Race is having a ditch the
I seen.
pit. Yeah, I definitely want to see that. That'll be a lot of fun. NU's actually co-hosting it, so if NU's helping out, good.
Yeah. I sent you an email congratulating him. Yeah, that's not until that's next month, right?
It's like July 8th or something like that.
Yeah, I think July 9th. Because yeah, Lily, I told you I was going to go to the Boston Young Professionals Association's having an event that night too. I was thinking.
That one.
Yeah, I was thinking of going to it, but I honestly, I really do want to go to the Greg Rays and NU's event.
Yeah, Greg used to have these things called Tech on Tap at a bar in Faneuil Hall, and it was great. Like I remember Jordan Flegel demoed his, revised basically all the updates to the Coach Up mobile app and all that. And I was pretty blown away. It was just a lot of fun seeing people demo their software, stand up and demo their software real quickly to see what's going on, And that, I miss those meetups, but it looks like Greg's kind of bringing that back in a way.
Yeah. And I like the theme of it, of like pitching the deck and stop doing your pitch kind of not cold, but like, not so mechanical, right? Yeah, from what I hear, I heard Robert Hughes and the elevator pitch event last night was somewhat similar, where they advise not to use the pitch decks as much and just really talk about what your startup is and your product is.
Right. Hi, Lily.
Yeah, Lily Marsh.
How are you?
Good to meet you, Lily.
Good to meet you. I'm sorry if there's any background noise. They decided to do month-long construction during the workday.
I don't really hear it.
Right
Yeah,
outside
Sam.
my
Yeah, we don't. You're good.
I think you've got a really good microphone. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of watching the Boston Celtics parade over the right side here.
Oh, that's right. That was today.
No, today's the day.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah, that was amazing.
What else is new, John?
Just working on Rocket Bean. I had a really good meeting today, talking about what I have going on with the website design and development, and like what would be the right move for us right now. And the advice I got was don't go too hi-fi on the designs and the needs there. Really work on validation, work my network into make sure that my network understands what I'm doing first and foremost. That way I can leverage my network to help me, amplify and bring in leads.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really
Great.
Yeah.
I remember when I was working on Charity Check and I had a balsamic prototype on my phone, I would go to all these different meetings and I basically demo, my Charity Check and balsamic prototype on my phone. I think we must have changed parts of the user workflow and user interface
Mhm.
about 6 times, thanks to the feedback I got. That way we had it all figured out before we launched it, so someone's buzzing the door. I'll be right back.
Gotcha. DoorDash, nice.
Uh,
What's going on, Ferris?
Hey, John. How's it going?
Feeling good? You working in the woods today?
I was just taking a tour and see what's up
Nice.
outside the Rocket Bean office.
Yeah.
Nice setup you got here.
Thank you.
I like the 42 equals.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, shout out to Douglas Adams. Yeah. Ferris, Lily Ferris. Ferris is
Hey there.
a good friend of mine, and Lily is a fantastic designer and rising star in the startup community.
Is that everything?
Awesome. What is your focus in terms of design? Is it mostly web or
Web,
copy?
web, print, just any like digital illustrations type of work. So.
Awesome. Do you do like graphic design as well, or?
Yeah, my background is mainly in graphic and visual design, but I'm trying to make that transition over to UX UI. So,
Awesome.
how about you? What are you up to?
I'm a database guy.
Okay, cool.
So I have a little product that kind of sits on top of Snowflake database and allows users to edit information within Snowflake.
What's the product?
It's called Winterface.
Letterface?
Winterface.
Interface.
Yeah. .io if you want to go to the site. Can I send a chat in here?
Yeah. It's bottom right area. Ooh.
Oh, this guy
Chat
up
icon.
here is helping us out.
We're good. That's it.
Yeah, you can share your screen if you want to. Give us a walkthrough or
Winter.
yeah, Ferris, you go to many I know you're in the Boston area. Do you go to any startup networking events?
I used to in my old startup, but not as much anymore.
Gotcha. Also, if either of you press F or Z, some fun things could happen. Ooh, you took my dog.
It's following me. Oh.
Yeah, it's not gonna unfollow you. I have no idea how to stop him from following.
I just wanted one pet. I don't want to take you home.
Sean, it's
It happens.
Yeah.
You feed him. Yeah. Let's get this person. Yeah, people are rolling in. Yeah, I'm kind of using this as like a little demo. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining. Yeah, we're using this as like a little bit of a demo on how like networking would work in this type of environment and getting a little bit of validation. Just a little.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, I had a meeting today. You might know the guy, Stephen Smith.
Not familiar.
Fractional
Like from ESPN.
No. He's a fractional CTO out here, and he gave me some great advice on sales.
Oh, actually, I do know him.
Yeah, you do.
I
I
actually
figured
do know
you
him.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. It was really good.
Nice. What do you say?
Just to work on simplifying, because I showed him a lot of the designs that we did for the website and asking him what's the best path for developing it. Because I was probably going to go the Webflow route. But
Yeah.
I just got connected with this design firm in Toronto through a Discord channel that we're in, and they said that they could definitely do it, but they
This
would
guy,
probably
right?
yeah, that guy. But they would hard code it, and then if I wanted to change anything, I think I would reach out to them or something. Which
Well, yeah, of course they want to do
yeah,
that,
I know.
right?
That's yeah. That's why. I
Dude,
didn't,
you work in design. You know what looks good, man. Just
yeah,
Webflow that shit.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but like yeah, and not only that, not only just that, but like being able to make modifications and changes down the road. Um, yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah. Also, like, it's not gonna affect. It's not gonna affect the business. Like,
That's what Steven said. So
you
he's
know what I'm
like,
saying?
yeah,
Like, it's not gonna make you any more money. Yeah. Like I've used Webflow for all my businesses, and like we've never had an issue with like wanted to do something that we couldn't do, or website wasn't converting and we wanted to change something and we weren't able to do it. Like, it's just it's not gonna be a problem at all. I would say just go for Webflow. Honestly, Webflow might even be overkill.
yeah. I think that's what he was saying too. Like, he's saying keep the messaging. I mean, he says right now work on my messaging, which I absolutely agree. And that's like I mentioned to you, I need to work on my UX copy for my website. So he's like, keep it simple, focus on the messaging, and then the best thing he said today, because we were like talking, I don't know if the reference was like in steakhouses, right? Like you don't go to a steakhouse for the steak, you go for the ambiance, like everything else about it.
Sure.
So he's like, sell the sizzle, right? Like sell everything else about what you're doing. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and leverage.
By the
my
way, hello,
yeah.
Lily and Ferris. Nice to meet you guys. I don't know if we've met before. I'm Henry.
I'm Ferris. Good to meet you.
Yeah, I did
We're
some.
doing some online networking right now.
Yeah.
Where are you guys? Where are you based? Henry.
Currently,
Yeah.
I'm in what country am I in? I'm in Scotland right now, actually.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I'm based in Massachusetts. I'm just here for a couple months.
Okay.
What about yourself?
Boston also. Oh, well, Waltham.
Nice.
I
And
am.
Lily?
Yeah, I am streaming this
Are you also
on YouTube.
a
just-
masshole?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Cambridge, so
Nice, beautiful spot.
yeah.
Where in Scotland are you?
I'm in Edinburgh right now.
Oh, nice.
Okay, cool. What brings you over to Scotland?
I'm just here to visit my co-founder, and we're helping him get his U.S. visa to come to America. Are we live right now?
Yeah.
Are we on Twitch or something?
Yeah, we're on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah.
Oh, nice, awesome.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. Yeah.
Sweet. Lily, what do you do?
I'm in between work right now, but I'm a visual designer trying to break into UX UI. So
Okay, nice. That makes sense. Is that how you know John?
yeah, I met him at a Startup Boston event this past week, which is where we connected, and now here I am.
Cool. That's awesome. And Ferris, what about you?
I do a lot of database work, both consulting, and I have a product called Winterface as well.
Winterface?
Yep.
Nice.
Like
And
interface,
what is
but for winners.
what does Winterface do?
It's basically you can think of it as like a Google Sheet for Snowflake. If you've heard of Snowflake database before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. And how do you know John?
Through mutual friends.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you two might have met at my birthday party.
Oh, we crossed paths there.
Probably, yeah.
Right, yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So is this the same office that we
No.
usually go to, John, or is
No,
it
no,
different?
I
this is a
switched it
different
up.
Office?
Yeah, I made it a little bit bigger.
Can I get a tour?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'll follow. Let's all follow you.
What is this?
Oh, I think
Where's everyone going? Oh.
I think we're just gonna walk around, but I'm gonna stay here. I think they're just doing a little tour.
Oh. Hey.
Ooh, can I get my pet
I
back?
just-
Yeah, just push X when you're near him.
Nice.
That's the,
I think I took him. Did I?
no.
That's hilarious.
Yes, you got him. You got him. Oh, finally, I'm free.
Nice. There we go. My dog. Yes, how's work going, buddy?
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of consulting work now, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah. Consulting life, it's has its perks, but it is a struggle. You're not in any like contract or unions, are you?
No.
Yeah. Somebody was mentioning one to me the other day.
What was the name? Do you know?
Okay, it was like it was a design contract, something association or union.
I've been thinking about starting one for kind of data workers, data engineers, data analysts, that sort of thing, data scientists.
Like a union
Um,
or like a community?
More, I guess, like I already am part of one community. It's called Stone Soup. It's pretty cool. We have like a Slack channel and stuff, and
Oh yeah.
if we have issues, we like reach out to each other. Or, like there are opportunities and stuff, just reach out.
Stone soup, that's cool. And it's
You heard the story of Stone Soup before?
No, please tell me.
I don't know I don't remember the full story. I heard it when I was a kid, but it's something along the lines of like they just started putting stuff in a pot because they had no food.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah.
started with stones, but they
Yeah.
ended up with like a bunch of other stuff. And
Yeah.
it was actually
I heard
something
that.
that tasted good together.
That's cool.
Wait, so John, is this going to be like this setup here is what's going to be like the official Cool Bean setup that people will be able to access?
No, I mean, this is the setup currently right now for like all the networking events. But like when we actually launch Rocket Bean as a peer group and community, it would definitely be a bigger office and more singular pods and private offices. And a lot of the doors can have locks on them, so like codes. So, yeah, there's a lot of cool perks that kind of come with when you actually start paying for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll redesign and build it from the ground up, like areas for congregating and talking and community events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, right now I think next couple weeks is going to be focused on validation. So like, I mean, part of the idea came from Henry. So I was going to do like these types of events, and it made sense to. I'm just asking somebody if they want to join us. I see a lot of people coming in, but I don't think they're walking around. But yeah, it made a lot of sense to like have vendors come in and have other people kind of come in and showcase their companies and their work and be able to steal my dog. Yeah, so just
My
working.
dog now.
Yeah, just working out the kinks and trying to figure out what the actual product market fit will be.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All of these people coming in and out have me wondering if like the same, like the social psychology.
We gotta go get these people. We gotta go get these people.
Yeah, we can go
Because
hang
they're
out. Yeah,
joining and they don't know what to do.
yeah, I'm gonna go down
Since
there.
everyone's
Hey, how you doing?
Kayla.
Yep. Good.
Hey, Kayla.
How's it going?
Going good?
Hello.
Yeah, welcome. Hello. First time in Gather?
Second or third, I think.
Nice. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, so, what do? You have a Boston startup?
Yeah. So, working on a generative AI platform. survival craft, open world, traveling to different kind of realms, and kind of like node and resource management with different communities. Sort of survival sim
Like
craft.
video game type deal?
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, very consumer focused, very gamey, so a bit more San Francisco genre typey, but or industry type, but been doing well with Boston. At least the AI elements have been good. How about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, this is my startup. Trying to build a virtual community here in Gather for entrepreneurs and digital product professionals.
Oh, you do
Yeah,
Gather?
I also.
Yeah, I don't own Gather, but yeah, this is my Gather office.
Very cool.
Yeah, Henry has a really cool AI
Yeah,
startup.
I have a generative AI startup as well, actually. We do AI video generation for ecom brands. So basically, we take videos and then we personalize them at scale. So we use AI to clone your voice and mimic your lip movement to allow you to create videos of yourself and personalize each one to each viewer. So I could take a video saying like, "Hey John, how are you doing today?" Plug into our software and we get one that's like, "Hey Lily, how are you? Hey Kayla, how are you?" And then yeah, that's basically it.
Oh, that's awesome. You aren't recently funded by Benchmark, were you?
No, we haven't raised any funding recently.
What's the name of the company?
Convi, yeah, CONVI.io. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, we work primarily with direct-to-consumer e-commerce stores. Yeah. So a lot of the other businesses in our space are like sales tools, like translation tools. So yeah, that type of stuff. Your game, is it like a online, like multiplayer online type deal, or like single player? Like what's that? How's that work?
Yeah, so we're in Alpha 2 now, so that's been mostly single player. There's
Cool.
AI NPCs that you can interact with and to kind of observe and dynamically adjust to the player's actions. So it's more like you're playing the game as opposed to like you're in an avatar playing the game. But our latest core build has
It's you playing it, not an avatar. It's like the game adjusts to you.
Yeah, so just like your inputs to some degree. So it's like kind of embodied, but it's not virtual reality. It's just a PC game right now.
Cool.
I think I met.
And,
I think I met
What's
with.
it called? Is there a website? Can I look it up?
Oh yeah, over lovelacestudio.com. I need to update the website actually.
Can you send a link? I'm gonna send a link.
Sure.
Here we go.
I think I met your co-founder, Alex.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I met him last year. Yeah, he was demoing it. Yeah, he was demoing it for me. Like I took it as it was like. So what he demoed for me is I could give a prompt, and your product would develop the world for me. So I could be like a Western, cowboy showdown, and it would, build that world for me.
Yeah. That's the first step is generating using AI to generate worlds that you can prompt into existence, and then that's kind of like your hub space.
Yeah, that was wild.
That's awesome. Yeah. Cool.
All right, I'm gonna head out, but it was great meeting
Yeah.
everyone.
Thanks, Lily.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, John, for hosting this. All right.
Nice meeting you, Lily.
Nice to meet you.
Peace.
So Kayla, where you at right now in your startup? Funded?
Me? Yeah. We've raised about 350,000 so far. Gonna be ramping up again. It's not a great time of year to do it, but over the next few months, I'll be raising up to 1 million. And our lead was the AI Operators Group. If you guys are Boston based, if you know like maybe Rob May or Abi Yadav, they do a lot of events around here.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what's the business model for the game? Is it like a subscription, or it's like you buy it one time? Like, how does it work?
Yeah, it's a free-to-play client-hosted servers. So you kind of like Minecraft, you can create your own worlds
Cool.
and other people in your community can join. And then you can pay for basically any points of inference that we run for deeper memory models on the AI, more dynamic, like flavorful elements, like unique elements within those worlds, and then unique assets that you can eventually trade and sell together to different players.
Okay, awesome. So the actual environment is all AI driven, and then like the player, does it look like you? I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the
Oh, yeah.
actual thing right now. I'm watching a trailer.
The players, no, they don't look like you.
Oh, cool.
Currently, though, we did have like the kind of camera in the bottom left of showing the avatar at least. But you can customize
Nice.
them. We do have we're working with a studio now to like have at least some character customizer in the beginning that you can swap around and make
Cool.
unique.
Is
Yeah.
there like a story, or it's just like you're in the world and you're like slaying beasts and like building like a fortress type deal?
It's definitely more story oriented. We're not focusing on combat initially. We're trying to have people kind of join this as a social, like the social elements of the space are definitely a priority. So we're like some of the core, like event driven architecture follows Stramatica, which is like a storytelling structure. It's actually
Okay.
very like really it's kind of a cool quantitative way to do it, but you like have different archetypes of characters in the world, like antagonists and emotional and skeptical and types, and then they each have their own unique personality, so they drive the elements of the story. It gets expensive using AI to do that because
Yeah, I can
you have
imagine.
yeah, because it scales basically exponentially. So you have to be really there's like a lot of clever tricks you have to try to use to be able to emulate that, like, oh, you're bringing up elements like previously from like that they retained for like this reason, and like so it was significant enough and it ties in enough with like the current quest that it's contiguous and like makes sense. But initially we're kind of just focusing on the absurdity of it all. It's like players can create like frog butt popsicles and like crazy kinds of things, and just kind of
Nice.
to start. Yeah, and then from there we'll like try to retro engineer it to be like contiguous in a cool, interesting enough story for players.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Very
How are you
Very
guys
fun.
marketing it?
What's that?
How are you guys marketing? Interested to hear.
Yeah, we've partnered with a few folks. We haven't put too much funding into marketing yet. But we want to target like kind of Dungeons and Dragons, like Dungeon Masters really are kind of the core audience, even though we're not like hard RPG right now.
That's awesome.
Those kinds of
That's
story
awesome.
creators are the
Dungeon Masters
Mhm.
as the core audience is just that's like the best. Like that's awesome. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you.
No, it's fine. Like, have you read the cold start problem? About like,
I've not.
it's a great book on building network effects. It uses like Uber and credit cards and stuff as examples of like how do you go from zero to like a full like community, like the biggest problem
Yeah.
for any
Yep.
consumer product really.
Current problem.
Yeah, decently large. And they say like you want to target mechanics and features that appeal to that 1% of your user base, the people who write and actually create those Wikipedia articles, because that 1% of creators,
They do like 90% of the work.
yeah, they do 90% of the work, and like 10% of the rest of the community will edit and modify it and like build off of that content, and then obviously 100% basically will use and access it. So that's like, yeah, that's the people you want to really build for, because that's how you have that kind of product-led growth for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Super cool to see.
Question for the group: like, what difficulties are y'all facing right now in your progress? Like for me, it is literally what you just said, trying to get that community and cold starting the marketing.
Yeah. What? And
Like-
sorry, so you said you are building Gather, or like you are part of the Gather team? Or-
I'm leveraging Gather to build a community for digital product professionals and entrepreneurs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. To kind of have like almost like a WeWork, but for virtual, and offering like shared resources, bringing in consultants and advisors, freelancers to do like minor work for our members, and like mainly focusing on so like one of the probably the biggest pain point that I think we'll solve is if we focus on content creation and helping our members build their personal brands. Because for myself and a lot of my friends, going on LinkedIn and posting every day is just it's like it's scary, right? Like it's just it goes against my grain. So being able to help people kind of create content and build their personal brands within the Gather and sharing all the resources, I think is the biggest value add that we can offer.
Definitely. Yeah. And if you're able to automate that content creation, then
Yeah.
that's like kind of organic marketing as well.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I've been telling John. Like, if you can find a way to make it like I can just hop in here and then you can have it edited into clips that actually get views, like that's such a big win.
Yeah.
For me, our biggest struggle right now is going to be pivoting to. So like when we initially built the tool, we just marketed it generally. Like we didn't focus on any specific like ideal customer, and it went well. Like we made plenty of sales. Like it worked. But the problem was that our customer base was very varied, and we didn't have a specific type that we were really focusing on that was actually like our best customers. And we're like, wow, we actually have a couple customers that are like producing all the value for us basically, and then we have a bunch of customers that like they pay us, but like they actually kind of are not really worth having because they take up a lot of time in support. They don't produce that many videos. Like they're not ideal for us. So then we pivoted towards e-commerce, like went all in on that. And now our real problem is like dialing in our messaging so that just that specific avatar is interested, and figuring out how we can make the tool perfect, like just for those types of companies. So like that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it's
But it's like-
around. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, Ferris.
No, I was going to start a completely new tangent. So
Go.
definitely finish
Rant. Go off.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, we've done it before with like we've marketed and gotten customers, and it's not been a problem. So we know that there's demand for the product and people are willing to pay for it. So it's just figuring out how we dial it in so that it focuses on the type of people we want to focus on. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean, for that, like, have you thought about changing their revenue model for those kind of like not worth it users to make them more worth it? Or is it kind of one of those things where you don't want to like have bad, like leave a bad taste in your customer's mouth for changing pricing or increasing pricing or something like that?
Yeah, it's not really a problem of like increasing pricing, but it's more so just that like if we have 5 different customer types that are purchasing a product and using it, then we're never going to create the perfect product for one type.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right, which is really what we need in order to hit, product market fit where it's the best thing for what it is. So that's mostly what we're concerned with, rather than like pricing or anything like that.
Got it. Yeah, just focus more so than anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, on our for me, it's just deciding when to bring on more team members. I think that's super difficult because like on one hand, you know that more productive people working towards something is going to result in bigger and better things. But on the other hand, like if you can't keep up and like pay salaries, then that's a big problem. So
are you venture backed?
No. So that's the other issue there. And I don't really want to be at this point.
Same.
But I mean, if it came to a point where it just really made sense to get a large infusion of cash, then I would consider it. But
Cool. So you're trying to figure out when the right time to hire is, basically.
yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. And you're bootstrapping?
Yeah.
How big's
Tough
the team now?
Oh, it's just me. I have one other potential co-founder, or like late co-founder, that I'm talking to now. But yeah, that's kind of like one of the big stumbling blocks, I guess, for him coming on at this point.
What's his specialty?
Is there a reason you go for a co-founder instead of hiring them?
I don't know, actually. I would want someone at the beginning to kind of feel as motivated to build the company. And the role that I'm looking for now is like more CRO style. So like someone to sell. And I think being a founder and in that role, you have a lot more stake.
Mhm.
Skin in the
CRO,
game.
like Chief Revenue Officer.
Yeah, like salesperson essentially. Super
Cool.
salesperson.
What is the do you guys have revenue right now?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean I can live off it. And I could probably hire one more person, but yeah, it's just a matter of consistency and growth.
Yeah, Ferris is
That's
humble.
what it always is, right?
I will tell
It's
you,
like,
Ferris is
yeah.
doing well, and he's amazing.
And I think I creeped you properly. You're at Winterface. You're running.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you gather data in the games industry? Actually, I just had an issue with that, or that's one of my problems recently is trying to get data without paying insane amounts of money for these licenses that I just need like very specific information for. But maybe that's a different use case.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really do any gathering. So our focus isn't industry specific either. It's just we're kind of an add-on to Snowflake. So if you already have your data in Snowflake, and Snowflake does have some like data sets. I'm not sure if gaming is or anything related to gaming is one of them. But yeah, so we just are a tag on or an add-on to that
Gotcha.
service. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Kayla, you said something earlier that piqued my interest about Dungeons and Dragons and Dungeon Masters. Obviously, I'm assuming you play. That has been something I would love to do with the Boston startup community is have like a fun D&D game going on with like founders and VCs. Kind of like, make it like informal and like, because all these meetings are formal in a sense. I would love to get them together and have them go through some campaigns that are challenging and almost mirroring the startup journey itself. I don't know if you know of anything that like is like that or
Not ones that have mirrored the startup journey. That's pretty cool. I know there's been a lot of like fourth wall breaking and kind of like rule setting for players, like kind of the Roll20 and like those types. They have like one thing I saw earlier was like you can't laugh. Every time you laugh, you take 1d6 of damage. So like as a play, like you as the player character for your player, you can't like laugh. And so they're just enabling these situations that's forcing them to laugh. You could do that. I think there's a lot of creative ways to like gamify it almost to be like, I don't know if a competition would be a healthy way to do it, but like like how you can frame. I assume it would be if it was entrepreneurs and VCs. Like VCs would either be the DMs or they would be like the. That's an interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that before for sure.
Yeah, I've been meaning to like reach out on some Discord channels to find a DM that has experience in the startup realm. That could probably potentially put a campaign together because I would love to use like this office. I mean, literally where we're sitting right now, we could do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can we build like a freaking D&D map and gather?
I mean, I would almost use. I mean, yeah, we could. Yeah. But
And we can like run around on the map.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the little documents that you have scattered over.
Yeah.
Could be, like
So the way,
glue-like things.
Gather told me that the cap of people per office or per server is 500, which is far exceeding any D&D game. But the map itself is endless because you can just add little portals to multiple other sections of. Like this office right now has a basement and a roof. Basement is a game room. There's tons of games down there, and the roof is like lounge area and conference area.
Nice.
Yeah, food for thought. If you know everything, if anything comes to mind, send it my way.
Yeah, bring that up to my co-founder too. He runs a few. I think he runs a D&D campaign. He also runs like a persona. He's like a persona for like a card trading show as well. It's like a necromancer and stuff. It's kind of cool.
Nice.
But definitely thinking a lot about the business case because like with a pitch deck, right? You have like your problem and then your solution, and you have like the team, target market, like traction metrics. Like there's ways, like it's almost like a story. It's like an opportunity to kind of gamify that. But then in the challenge, I guess, would be if you wanted to have recurring players, like it was like a weekly thing, then if the ultimate goal was to kind of foster partnerships, then you'd have to like curate the right teams for that, or the right like grouping of people to find value in that. I don't know. That's really interesting though. Almost like a whole other like startup idea. Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's why like VCs are always looking for more fun ways to like hear a bunch of pitches. That's why they like the Shark Tank. Like I've done a few Shark pitches. If you've seen them on LinkedIn, there's a few groups that do it. Kind of fun.
Shark pitches? What does that mean?
Shark Tank, kind of like a 3-minute or like lightning talks. Lightning
Cool.
pitches and stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, currently right now, in the Boston startup community, I've been noticing a trend of trying to build events that are kind of outside the norm, like not just your typical pitch deck review where your PowerPoint gets put on the projection and you do your walkthrough. Kind of mechanical, but yeah, there's a couple going on right now that are trying to break that and have you pitch without a deck. And one yesterday was Henry. I don't know if you've seen, Robert Hughes did the elevator pitch where you literally pitch in an elevator going up to like the 21st
Oh no, I've
floor.
not seen it.
Yeah, so like you don't have your deck with you, and they have like a camera in there, and you have 20 seconds or 30 seconds to pitch your company while the elevator goes from 0 to 24. Yeah,
It's great.
yeah, I thought it was really cool. Yeah, I think there is a demand coming of like breaking the mold on how we all interact and kind of network and pitch our products and startups.
Lightning pitch round on Gather. It's coming. Ferris, I'm interested. Why are you bootstrapping rather than raise?
I guess 2 reasons. The first reason is my product is super focused, so it's not like a $1 billion idea in a way. So there's only a certain market for it, and it's somewhat niche. And so the slower I can go, or like not the slower that I can go, but like the more that I can focus on completely fulfilling that need before moving on to something else, just makes it a lot easier versus if I had like a venture backing that I would need to expand my use case essentially. What's that?
I'm just gonna go meet this person. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, good. Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. If you want to come join the conversation, you can follow me.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So it's not like 5 years ago.
Can you change the avatar or something?
I think when you when you come in, I think that might be the only time. Or maybe.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
It's a great avatar.
Yeah.
If you refresh, sometimes it lets you, I think.
Will it? Yeah.
I think also if you click on yourself,
Yeah, maybe.
you can click edit character.
Edit character.
Oh, edit character.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough time to raise, for sure.
So this
Yeah.
is like a metaverse sort of
Yep.
simulator.
Yeah.
This is like Nintendo metaverse type deal.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bring
cool.
it back to 8-bit.
So Ferris, how did you acquire your initial customers?
So I worked in consulting before,
Mhm.
and basically I have a bunch of contacts that consult for Snowflake or consult with Snowflake, and so it's just a matter of convincing them to add me to their stack.
Nice.
They've like seen the work that I've done before.
Nice. So you already
like-
knew, you had the in.
Exactly. So I already had customers, essentially, not had customers, but had like a channel at least
Right.
to obtain customers.
You knew who was going to use it before you built it, basically.
Exactly.
Nice.
So yeah, that definitely helped. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it is like Boston consultants, and a lot of my customers are Boston or like New England people. So
Nice.
yeah, I guess like I need to expand from here, from this little corner of the world.
Boston's pretty big.
Yeah.
Is
So-
everyone here Boston based?
Um,
Everyone here is Massachusetts based? Aiden?
Yeah, for the purpose of today's event, are we just going around introducing startups and
Yeah.
startup ideas?
Semi-informal networking event. Yeah, let us know what you got going on.
Yeah, well, for me, I'm not really a person who's in the startup space or the tech space at all. I'm actually a student at Boston University, and I study international finance, but I'm really interested in tech and everything associated with that. So I just learned of this event through my school, and I just wanted to get everyone's perspective on, the startup space here in Boston, and also just about, what kind of ventures that they're interested in.
Yeah. I could definitely connect with you. I'll send you an email with a bunch of links to a lot of resources to tap into the Boston startup community a lot better.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be great. Thank you so much. And then with the startup space, I think in Boston there's something called like the Harvard Labs or
Yeah,
something
Harvard
like
Innovation
that.
Labs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Labs, yeah.
they had an event or some sort of workshop, but they charged like $75. Do you think something like that is worth it?
I mean, I went to it. If you're talking about the one, Henry, you were there,
Boston
but
It's
Startup
worth way more than that, man. It's
Yeah,
worth
yeah,
way
yeah.
more than $75.
yeah, it's how I met Henry. Yeah.
So
John and we met at
Not the Harvard
was at
Innovation
Wentworth,
one.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
it was at the Wentworth one. But
okay.
yeah, if you're talking about like it was called the TechStars Startup Weekend.
Yeah, that was it.
Yep. It was like a hack.
So wait, Aiden, you're a
basically
student?
hackathon.
Yes, I am.
where are you a student? You said BC?
No, BU,
BU? Nice. What do you study?
international finance.
Ooh, make a little bit of
Yeah.
money.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
know.
Flashy
Startup.
job.
I know
Yeah,
it's
rock
so
star.
about the money, but yeah, since it's an informal session, I do have a question actually.
Yeah. shoot.
And it's actually pretty relevant because I'm not from Boston. I'm from Chicago. So I would love to get this perspective on Boston. So I was at King's. I don't know if you know
Bowling.
King's,
Yeah.
right, in Copley Square, Back Bay actually. And I was kind of just there just to check out the space, to watch the Euros, because I really like soccer. And when I was there in that space, like I spoke to the people who work there about, sports in Boston, what it means. And they're like, yeah, the Celtics just won the championship. So the parade is on, it's going to go crazy. And then I'm like, just with sports, it's like, it's something that's so glorified, and it's like grandiose. And I'm like, Boston must be so amazing when it comes to this, right? So I guess sports is one aspect that can draw a lot of people to Boston. But then for academics and finance, even, I thought that there would be a notion for Boston to have that kind of finance bro vibe, and people are
Bro,
like,
what's the question? What's the question? You're like, I have a question.
Are you
like,
selling me
for
on
2
Boston?
minutes about
I'm
like
s- I've been
sports
sold.
in Boston. Yeah,
I've been
it's
sold
like-
on Boston.
I guess I'm trying to give like a background on it, where it's like you have this kind of picture portrayed, whether it's Celtics or finance or whatever. But then I came and I really saw it for what it was, and then I'm like, it doesn't really seem like it's like that,
Like what?
And it's just a sort of illusion.
that it's
I mean-
all sports and finance.
yeah, we are
not exactly like all sports and finance, but it's kind of a certain lifestyle. That,
Awesome.
I mean, yeah, it's a
so-
real like it's a whole city. Like it's a million things.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
also Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah, that-
Go Sox.
And Revolution,
Tom Brady
That's
for
right.
more ways
Yeah.
than one. But I guess have you been to a place that has lived up to your expectation of that place? Like Chicago is theater, but when I go to
Mhm.
Chicago, I don't expect like people to be dancing in the street and like
Yeah, everybody improving with you.
Wait, really? That's actually the first time I've ever heard that Chicago is about the theater.
I mean, it's not like only theater, but
Aiden, what year are you?
Mean.
Yeah.
Everybody likes the mean.
Yeah, so it's actually a 1 year like exchange program. And,
Cool.
and I'm
So
almost,
what year of schooling are you in?
oh, this is like a grad program, yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool. So did you work before, or you just like you went directly into grad school?
Yeah, just for a little bit, yeah. Like I worked with PwC Talent Exchange, and I was a like AML case analyst for a bank. So yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I guess that was my first understandings of like commercial banking and like compliance in banking.
Are you
And you
interested?
loved it.
Yeah. Are you interested in like VCs or like startup investments?
Yes, I'm actually really interested in like angel investing, and then also like venture capital and private equity. I thought Boston would kind of be the hub for venture capital and private equity, but from what I've understood about startups and investments in Boston, it's sort of like not the most traditional in the sense of the financial aspect of it, where you have a bunch of investors just pulling money into it, but it's more about giving people who have ideas the chance to pitch to investors and then draw investments through pitches rather than, I guess so.
Yeah,
From
no,
what I've understood about Boston, it's like you have innovators reaching out rather than investors reaching out, you know,
I think it goes both ways. Like once you
Both ways everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
on both ways.
like once you have that network in place, like obviously you can't reach out to somebody that you don't know.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it just happens to be that investors seem to reach out. I mean, sorry, innovators seem to reach out more to investors because in most cases, innovators would be more unknown than investors because they have like a whole marketing staff that says like, hey, we are investing in things, you know what I mean? We're hosting events and
Yeah.
we're going to these events,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So maybe that's why the perception is that way.
Yeah. Aiden,
Also, just in general, it's easier for a founder to reach out to an investor than for an investor to reach out to a founder
Correct.
because the investors are established. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the money to invest.
yeah, and
so they have some
their intake
presence.
of incoming like people that want their
Yes,
money
and one-
is
Exactly. One
Yeah.
investor will
Volume.
invest in, hundreds of companies, but one company might only raise, a couple times, like ever. So it's
Yeah.
that's the nature of the beast at any city in the world, man.
yeah. Aiden, if
Okay.
are you familiar with Leaders Bank in Boston?
Leaders Bank.
Yeah, I've
No,
yeah.
but,
If you're interested in like startup investment and that type of lane for your finance degree, I would reach out to them. They have some good co-op programs, and I know they work with like a lot of students.
Hmm. Yeah, but I do know of Silicon Valley Bank. In fact, I was just there for an event yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
Where
One of my
it was
friends was
sort
there.
of like a fintech networking event, and that was a good event. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to some of those with Fidelity. They're really
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
So, does everyone here sort of have like a startup idea that they're already working on,
Me.
or
These three wonderful people have startups.
Oh,
I think
well,
I'm the only one with just the idea right now.
Okay, so what would you say is sort of like the phases to developing a startup?
Uh,
Is it like kind of
stress,
looking
stress,
at
stress. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just
like
panic.
your interests, a certain market with a need that needs to be met, and yeah, just like what's kind of the process to making a startup?
I think it's just trying to figure it out. I have not come across any playbook that actually fits to everybody's needs and journey, but
Mm.
it's just, yeah, you get out there. The reason I moved to Boston was because it was very evident to me that nothing happens without personal connections and actually meeting people and building relationships. So that's my absolute advice to you going forward. What you did yesterday and what you're doing right now is the right thing to do. Get out there, meet people.
Yeah,
And then, yeah.
Right.
but
Where'd you
I
live before,
spoke to
John?
someone,
What'd you
Where'd
say?
you live
and he
before?
gave me this piece of advice.
I thought you were from Boston originally.
Central Mass.
Oh, cool. Nice.
And the advice he gave me was, there's limited resources, right? So time, money, and the third one he told me that's really big is energy too. So of course, you have these limited things, and I kind of understood energy is definitely something else that is very limited. So with meeting large amounts of people, it's about energy, right? And with starting a startup, you have to reach out to so many people. But won't
Right.
you experience burnout from this? And how do you guys like deal with burnout?
I don't think there's people like to compare introverts and extroverts and like say one person is one or the other, but I think it's just a muscle. Like talking to people is just you have to exercise it and you get better at it over time. And though you end up like scaling up as a company, you're building up those relationships and hopefully ideally you should have like initially when you're at the ideation and pre-product phase, you're just having coffee chats, you're asking people for advice, you're moving a bunch of investors along at a funnel and there's no stake there. It's like very minimal stakes. And then as you build that product out, you're moving them upwards into like, okay, we're going to be raising soon. And then you go into the raising phase and you move all the people up. But even though it's higher stakes and there's more pressure, it's easier to do because you've now talked to so many people now, you're like past that fear point of like, oh shit, like I'm going to have to go, I have to click this link to go into a Google Meets call. And like, the human anxiety of like, picking up a phone and calling somebody is just way minimized. So it's just a practice thing really. And
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was just editing my character. Yeah.
I mean, think about like every time that like you type on a keyboard, right? Like the first time you ever typed on a keyboard, it was agonizing. You had to actually look and physically find where the letter was, and then you had to think to press that letter, and you had to do that for every single letter of every word. It was like unbelievable. Like if you can remember when you learned how to type, like it's super difficult, but then you do it for a couple hours, a couple days, and now like it happens automatically. You just, the same with speech, right? Like if you think about if someone presented you like, a new language, a new keyboard, all those things, you had to learn them again, you'll be like, this is like, the amount of friction to be able to do this is unbelievable if you had to learn a new language with a new keyboard layout. But now that all happens completely on autopilot. You don't even think about it. And it's the same thing in startups. Like anything that's difficult, it's like, it seems like it's so daunting and difficult, but then it's just repetitions under the bar, until eventually it happens automatically.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, you're just practicing something till it's second nature. Even, communication. I think that's definitely something where it's just something that's not taught in schools,
Yeah, I think the hard truth is nothing happens overnight, no matter how much you want it to. When I first moved out here and I was doing networking events, I get social anxiety, especially in crowds. So like, even if I paid for a ticket after half hour, 40 minutes, I'd have to leave. I'd tell myself I'm stepping out for air, and then I'd hail an Uber or jump on the bus. But now when I go to events, I know people. I can, oh, hey, what's going on, buddy? And like, it's so much more calming, and the repetition really smooth things over to where now I can go and I talk about my projects. I ask people what they're doing, how I can help. Be genuine, get out there, and like they all said, work that muscle.
Yeah, for sure. I think, that kind of muscle might be different for everyone because, some
Yeah.
people may just be a lot more open while some other people just aren't. And like for me, it's sort of like sometimes, yes, I want to be open. I want to just engage and get more perspectives, but then other times it's sort of like, oh, I don't feel like I can fit into what they're talking about, fit into their group. So then I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't know what's going on. you know.
Yeah, and for that, I would just be honest. You can say that. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Nothing wrong with saying I don't know. I had a meeting today
Yeah,
where
some-
a gentleman said a bunch of words that I had no idea what he was talking about, and I was like, "Please educate me."
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the chance for you to learn when you're in a room of things that you're not familiar with, If you're just being in the same rooms and seeing the same people and you already know everything, then you're probably in the wrong room,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a question because we were talking about like investment earlier. One thing I always struggled with was like investment relations. So like, again, no one's gonna write you a check on the first meeting. So, anybody have like, I don't know, good tips, tricks, or learned anything valuable about keeping those investments warm?
Email updates, monthly newsletter updates are the best.
Yeah.
It's hard. I'm bad at it. I haven't emailed people in like 2 months, 3 months, probably 2 months. I think.
Yeah, kind of
But
just piggybacking off of that question. Does your question relate to like the stages of investment, like seed investors or
Just
angel investors?
getting that check.
Or-
Like, I mean, getting that in awfully after the fact, because now they're on board with you, and you have to give them updates, and there's certain criteria you have to meet. But
yeah,
yeah, nobody's.
So, like,
it's
for my second company, when I went to raise money, I just called like one of my previous clients I was close with. I was like, hey, I'm doing this, like, let's meet up. And then like we meet up, and he was like, yeah, well, we've been working with you for like, over a year. So like I know you're gonna do well on this. So like we have there's no problems here. Like let's just like I don't even need to see a pitch deck. Like, because really at the end of the day, they're investing in you. It depends on how much money you want to raise and how you want to raise it. Like in terms of like maintaining investor relations, like for getting initial money, like the best possible case scenario is that you just know people that have money that you've worked with before. So whether that's clients, business partners, previous co-founders, or one other thing that I personally like to do, which is paying to get in rooms with people that are much smarter and much wealthier than me, so that I can connect with them, learn from them, and then when an opportunity comes up that you think would make sense for them, like you already have that relationship built. Like you want to do as little cold pitching as possible. One, because like it sucks, but two, the real reason, which is that it's super inefficient with your time. Like most founders that are raising money, they spend most of their time raising, like 60 to 70% of their time. And like you have to think like your company, like how much better would it be if you could get most of the CEO's time back? How much faster could you grow? And so having warm investors that you can just reach out to is like, it not only does it like make the whole process just easier.
Hey, how's it going? You're on mute. Probably bottom left. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, my earbuds are charging up, so I may take like 2 minutes. But you're the host, right?
Yeah. We're in the conference room to your left, right there. You can use the arrow keys to jump in. If you want to come in and like wait for and just listen in, I can let the group know.
All right, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Follow me in.
sorry.
Yes. So often you have companies that will raise a bunch of money, and then like now you've raised money, so you need to have a burn rate because the investors are like, well, if you're profitable and you just raise money, like you didn't need to raise money, right? So obviously you must spend it. So now you're forced to become unprofitable, which is like not a great position to be in if it's your first ever company and you're starting in a non-profitable position. You have to figure out how to pivot that to being profitable, which like is not such an easy thing to do when you, one, it's your first time, and two, have a time limit. Like you're basically adding a limit on the amount of time you have in that company before you have to either like, you know, go bankrupt or raise again. So like if you can get revenue beforehand, that's really ideal. And personally, I really like the idea of just starting with a business that's not a startup. Like there's plenty of businesses you can run that are not innovational. People know how to run them, and you can make money doing it. And then you learn all the basics of business without all the innovational problems, because that's a kind of its own whole separate can of beans.
Yeah, there's no need to reinvent the wheel every time.
So essentially, with your suggestion, you're speaking about kind of using the revenue stream that you get as a way to leverage yourself. So for example, let's say I'm just selling things online and I'm just doing e-commerce, and I'm already bringing in money from e-commerce, right? And then I guess I may have some sort of new idea that's related to e-commerce, and I want to just like transform this into a sort of startup. Then I would use this e-commerce kind of platform as a way to pitch to investors.
Realistically, if you were doing e-commerce and you were making money in e-commerce that was significant, I would just say do more e-commerce, because like it's a great business with great margins. Like risking it to do a startup, like the only reason it would make sense to do that, in my opinion, would be if you had so much money that you could afford to take a sizable amount and like risk it on a startup. Because the reality is most startups don't make money. Most VC groups don't even make money. So like if you're going to do it, you know, you either need to really know what you're doing, or you need to have enough money that you're okay to lose a bunch of it. Just my 2 cents.
Okay. Or how about I'm reselling sneakers, and with sneaker reselling, I'm already making some money off of that. Can I use that as a way to pitch to investors?
I mean, do you have like a LLC that you're doing it under? I think it would be pretty difficult to like.
No, these are just all.
Unless your company is a sneaker reselling.
Yeah, that just tells me you have sales validation.
Yeah, they don't care about that. No. Vlad, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I'm muted.
Yeah, hey, yeah, sorry about that. I think my mic might be like it's off right now, so my audio might be a little bad. Is it good, or do you guys hear me well?
Sounds good to me.
Not bad.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, so I'm a startup founder, early stage. But can you? I wanted to ask you this really quickly. Can you expand on like, because I actually I grew up with the whole e-com thing, so I ran my family e-com for a long time, but I'm kind of curious, and like I guess why do you say this is why do you VC firms not make money? Like meaning, don't they like make money off of like the carry essentially?
Off of what? Sorry.
The carry.
So the thing about VC firms, right, is that basically when a company takes off, like the reason why the number one thing or one of the top things they look at is total addressable market, like TAM. Like most investors are like not VCs, like they don't really care about the TAM because the company's not designed to take over the entire. Like if you were starting, for example, like a local insurance brokerage and you were raising some money from it, no one would ask you about the TAM of like insurance, because it wouldn't be relevant, because you would never, like, it doesn't matter. It's huge. You're not going to take the whole thing. But for a VC, they're trying to find tech companies that are going to get like a huge, step function in efficiency over other stuff in the market and literally take the entire market. So when a company takes off, right, like they're 1,000, 100,000 Xing, right? So like literally like only one or two companies might carry the entire portfolio, right? It's like one Deca unicorn carrying the entire portfolio. And so if you get that one Deca unicorn or those two Deca unicorns that are $10, $100 billion, like everybody makes a ton of money. But if you don't, then the companies that you're buying are not really going to be profitable without hitting that scale, right? And part of the reason for that I just mentioned is that when you raise money, now you're forced to have a burn rate. You're forced to become unprofitable. So there's actually a negative correlation between business success and raising money. So companies that raise money initially are actually way more likely to go bankrupt in the first couple of years because of that phenomenon. They now have to have a burn rate. They have to grow at certain milestones, and they also have to grow consistently. So like if you're bootstrapping a company, you can make some money, lose some money. Like, progress is not always perfectly linear. If you're fundraising, like from VCs, you can't have a down round, basically. If the company, for whatever reason, didn't grow on paper, because oftentimes what they're actually doing in the early stages is they're figuring out what actually needs to be solved and how to make the product good, and that might involve like a step down in revenue. So like for my company, we lost revenue when our monthly revenue decreased when we targeted a different niche, but the customers we were acquiring, we knew were actually going to stay longer. And so the LTV, the financials of the company got better, but the revenue went down. And like we couldn't have done that if we were VC backed, because the VCs would have been like, hey, like when the next round comes along, the valuation needs to be higher, and revenue is going to be the number one metric they look at. So like the company would just fail. So basically, most of the VC firms actually lose money, or they fail to beat the market, right? Because if you made like 5%, it's like, cool, you lost money because you could have just put it into a S&P 500, done nothing, and made more. So most of them lose money, but the ones that make money make a lot of money. Vlad, what did your startup do?
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Like, why'd you ask?
So we're basically a financial services tool. We sit on top of your accounting data and then provide you with like financial advice and connect you with like essentially like service providers.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But we're just like a platform tool.
So is it like
Boston-based?
a matchmaking service, you would say?
So not like a matchmaking. So like think of us like QuickBooks Plus. So you have
Okay.
a bunch of like accounting data. We're still like building out the platform. So like we're still like, only growing the team now. Initially, like the way I actually got traction was by building up like data sets. So I did a bunch of projects, and now we're like pivoting from like project-based work into this like platform, and we're actually hiring interns right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like I'm in Boston, by the way, so I'm actually out on Mass Challenge,
Nice.
and yeah, we got a bunch of interns from like Northeastern, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Hey, you might know a
Yeah,
friend.
do you think we could go around and just introduce all the startups that everyone has?
I just want to say, like, Vlad, do you know Krista Bodegor? I forget her last name. She works at I think she's.
Probably Krista. I probably saw
Yeah,
her
yeah.
name on the bridge. Yeah, I like I don't remember because I've only joined maybe I want to say March,
Gotcha.
but it's hard to put like a name to a face.
Gotcha.
But I've seen a lot of faces.
Nice. Yeah.
Where are you guys at in like the whole startup journey?
I think we're all in. Oh, me personally, very early stage. Yeah, still trying to figure out product market fit and what value I can really add.
Yeah. Late pre-seed. Like early seed. So.
Yeah, around the same here, pre-seed. Just I guess found fit, but need growth now. Looking for growth.
Where are you guys
Yeah,
all in
I'm
Boston? Okay.
bootstrapping early stages of revenue, basically. Yeah, getting to our first 100 companies on the platform.
Nice, congrats.
Nice.
Ferris, where'd you meet that potential co-founder?
I worked with him before at my previous startup. And yeah, but he's in Utah now. So that's another.
Yeah.
But actually, it works better for me because like I would prefer someone in the West.
For the time difference, that they can work hours that you don't?
No, just like people that you run into are different. You know what I mean? Just your circle is different.
That's fair.
I actually have something pretty funny to add. I recently actually pushed my co-founder out of our company.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because we were obviously like for a year we were doing like lots of projects, and then recently, right, we like in February we shifted towards like building up like a platform tool, and he wanted to do something else, so he just kind of amicably left. But like I started realizing recently, I was like, well, there's actually a lot of software engineering talent out there, and there's not enough work to be done. That's actually why I think there's this massive like explosion of just like open source tools. There's actually way too many open source tools like to select from. You have like this massive paradox of choice.
Mhm.
That's nice that it was amicable.
Yeah, no, he's super cool about it. He's building up like a different tool now.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a rare one.
Yeah. I thought you were about to spill some tea.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's the worst. No, it's pretty cool. I mean, I've known him like 5+ years, you know. So like overall, he's like a pretty solid guy.
Nice.
He just didn't want to work on the problem. I was like, okay, you're out.
Now they say, I mean, other than like not finding product market fit, but they say co-founder friction and friction with investors is one of the key reasons that startups really don't get off.
Yeah. It's like a marriage.
Probably one of the biggest one. Yeah. Just co-founders don't fit, or the problem's not a problem, are like the two big two.
Also, yeah, investors trying to dictate too much of the company and what goes on, I've heard, is another issue.
Yeah, just going off of that, my question is, so what do you think is the trade-off between having like private equity or venture capital take a lot of stake in your company and not having flexibility versus just trying to raise capital all by yourself? At what point would you have to consider just giving up control for money?
Raise capital by yourself, you mean like bootstrapping, like building a company off cash flow?
Yeah.
I mean, like early stage funding is not a huge
Like,
percentage of
when-
equity.
When should you sacrifice control for, investments?
So
So usually a late stage is like Series C or so question.
And none of you guys are at that stage.
If you're at that stage at this point, you're probably dead on arrival because then you won't be able to dilute into additional rounds. And VCs want to see that founders have a significant equity stake because that's the main driver for them to continue building the company.
So
don't
the
have-
other thing is like, if you're hitting a late stage, like you're hitting like a Series C, there's like you're raising like $20, $100 million or more. There's not like a ton of flexibility that you need at that point, because like you said, like trading off like flexibility and freedom. It's like if you're at that point, like people know what the company does. Like basically you have found product market fit. You have a killer team, and like you have a money printer, and it's just pouring more. You're just pouring fuel on the fire at that point. So in my personal opinion, the flexibility of the company is like not as important when you hit the later stages, at least in terms of like making the most money. It might be people start companies for different reasons, but if you're hitting Series C, you're basically at a point where the money's going to have no impact on your life.
So you
like
wouldn't
more money
really-
won't let you do more things. Yeah, you'll have tens of millions, like more than you could reasonably probably more than you could reasonably spend, like without like trying to spend it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you wouldn't consider the threat of
Probably.
a takeover, right?
Wait, have any of you guys set up boards or anything like that? Just kind of curious. Or like, because control tends to happen around like board seats and whatnot.
I had one in my last company, small board. We had a lot of lawyers involved. It was super expensive, like kind of a pain. But like, yeah, you sit down with the people and you're basically coming to like this is how we want things to be set up and governed. And like in those early stages, it's just important that everyone's on the same level. But the kind of the reality is that if you're at a point where you're clashing that hard with the other people that own significant equity of the company, that you can't make decisions, that you need to defer to like a legal document, like the company's pretty much in a pretty bad situation, if that makes sense.
Wait,
Like
Kayla,
if you and the other people that own a significant portion are like not able to agree without deferring to like, oh, we need to like go back to like the rules now, like that's not great. Like you failed like 3 other things before you hit that point.
Kayla, have you set up a board? Just kind of curious, because I think you potentially have raised or raising.
We raised about 350,000 so far. We had to convert from LLC to C Corp, and in doing so, did establish a board of just kind of us right now, actually. So I'm, I think I'm president, and my co-founder's chairperson, or the other way around. I think I'm president. Yeah, the CEO should be, the less, like it's kind of like you're trying to balance where the co-founder has the more important role on the board seat, so that you can have majority in making decisions. But and it's also an indicator that you are both aligned as well.
When do you think typically? Because like my understanding is like you would get like a say like you get a Series A investment or like a $2 million or like a $6 million check, in terms of investment. That's when typically an investor would put on 2 of his guys on your board. Is that correct? Because like then they can control the direction of their investment, and then also whether or not they can fire you. You know what I mean?
Usually, yeah. It's when, like in the early stage, they don't really care enough. They just want, like, most VCs are smart, or like smart enough to know how money works and how to invest properly. And so, yeah, a stupid one will probably try to be like a strategic, like overly strategic partner and micromanage the way you operate. But most know that doing so is not helpful for the company, especially in the early stages. But yeah, as it grows, and then they might want a board seat to come in and like have more say in how it goes, because revenue's starting to get involved, and it's like, in a way, it's kind of more their bread and butter.
I've always been curious about the differences between like the company board and advisory boards.
There's advisories are like most like partners. Board seats are like they can essentially fire you, from my understanding. So like advisory boards, you can essentially offer them like a percentage of your company, like
A small percentage,
yeah. Versus like a board, they have like voting rights, so they essentially control the company.
Does anybody have an advisory board currently, or?
Not like an official board, but we have advisors that we give a small amount of equity to.
Nice. Yeah, I think when I was talking to your co-founder last year, we have a mutual connection, John, on Radolf.
Oh, me? You? Yeah. He's my advisor.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah, I follow his content. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's great. He's my advisor. Seth Prebatch is my best friend and advisor as well. He ran, if you remember Level Up, he was CEO of that, which was acquired by Grubhub.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm at John.
Wait, so I gather most of you guys are from Boston?
Yeah.
Or just kind of curious?
Yeah.
Actually, do you guys know Acquia? Like the company? Do you know what Acquia is?
Yes.
Yeah, they used to be like one of the top employer, or like the top 10 employers in Mass. I was at a party yesterday, and the DJ was the founder of Acquia.
Cool.
I actually got his card.
Were
What
you
genre?
Were you at
Yeah.
the elevator pitch?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Wait, were you there?
No, I know Robert Hughes. I was messaging him about it.
What kind of events do you guys go to? I found our first founders after an hour and a half conversation at Venture Cafe.
Yeah, I've been
I
there.
don't really
been there a
like
bunch.
Venture Cafe.
Yeah, Venture Cafe, and then the Cambridge Innovation Center.
Yep.
Is that?
Yeah, that's
That's where they have it. Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Venture Cafe is the best in town, in my opinion. It's you can get to be a lot.
No.
It can be a lot. It's like it's small space.
It's
and-
the best one that like you can just walk into.
yes.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
I like-
Is that
I like
the one
conferences a
that's
lot,
every
but-
Thursday night, Venture Cafe.
yeah, every Thursday night. Yeah.
Conferences are great too. Yeah.
I see.
The ones you
Yeah,
pay
I'm-
for
I'm a-
are you're gonna get more value out of, but
True.
Yeah, private invite only, or paying a lot of money. That's like, in my experience, those like events that are like, yeah, like everyone here really knows what's up. But if you don't have any money, or you don't really know what you are looking to do, like you can just, or you don't know anyone, you're new to the area, Venture Cafe. But like if you go to Venture Cafe for like a couple weeks, like 3-4 weeks, and you play your cards right, you can pretty quickly start getting invited to like
yeah.
the invite only events if you just meet the right people at Venture Cafe. There's enough overlap.
Yeah.
You guys want to know a growth hack that I like to do with conferences? Actually,
Do it.
What's
Go
up?
for it.
I hate growth hacking, but like because I've done a lot, like in my personal professional career, I obviously did a lot of conferences, and I try to get like an invite to like the happy hour specials, like especially if it's like a conference I really want to go to without like paying like the crazy 2K ticket or whatever.
Yeah.
I just try getting the happy hour special. So usually that's like through like their partners is an
Yeah.
easy one, right? So like Datadog obviously used to do. They actually grew like really well in terms of go to market just through like conferences actually because all their events were awesome.
So are you reaching out to like people at Datadog and being like, "Where's the happy hour event?" Or
Yeah, I mean that, or like usually you could just Google it with the
Yeah,
conference.
that
was
goes
gonna
on
say,
LinkedIn
yeah.
and stuff.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went to the IBM one recently, and I went to a couple like partner happy hours, and that was pretty cool. Got to meet like the CTOs of like their orgs.
Nice. Yeah, that is
That's
pretty
awesome.
smart. Yeah, another free free community. Yeah, one of my favorite communities in the Boston startup scene is Startup Boston Week, founded by Stephanie Rowlick. She
Oh,
she produces a lot of free events, but like it's just a very welcoming, open, and insightful community that they have a lot of good events. They had one a few days ago about AI. That was fun.
You guys should go to the Mass Challenge ones. They're pretty like public actually. They actually have a whole event because I'm actually here in the space, and they have a whole list actually that they send out, like an event list.
Yeah, I've been
It's
to
pretty good.
one to two. I haven't been in a while. I
Yeah,
feel
there
like
was one they do like a monthly Boston Brews type of thing. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
They did one yesterday actually. It was like really solid.
yeah, I feel like the
Maybe some events that are good could just be like interest events, because I found some gaming sorts of events, and these are game developers, and they seem to really know the space really well. So I think, just going off of your certain interests, you can find some great events like that.
Yeah, I believe Unity has a good Boston chapter out here that I've gone to a few of their events.
Mm.
What is that related to?
Unity? I mean, it's a
It's like a
Game-
3D engine.
game engine. A lot of the video games that you play built on that engine.
Oh, okay. And
Or
they
other-
have specific events here?
Yeah, they have like a chapter.
Is it like?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How about PAX East? As a gaming
Yeah.
event.
That's
Yep,
best.
That's good for players. You go to GDC in San Francisco if you want to talk to publishers and VCs.
Oh, okay.
I think Google Cloud for Startups is also kind of a niche startup networking group. Basically, like a lot of people join it so they can get free Google Cloud credits. But
And do they have an office in Boston?
yeah,
Cambridge.
and you can meet like a lot of really cool startups. Like I met some that are like defense contract startups, like really like high tech companies.
Yeah, next gen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your next goals? What are your what's the next I know like June's almost done. So I try to have like a monthly thing that I do. I do like this monthly update just to keep myself in check. What's like your end of June goal?
Me?
Yeah, just in general. I'm just kind of putting it out
That's a
there.
good question.
Yeah.
Anyone
Yeah. I'm just
make more
hustling.
money?
Yeah.
Finish version 75 of my pitch deck
Oh,
and the appendix and the research required for it.
wait, have you tried going to any of the on pitch events?
I've done a lot of lightning pitches, yeah.
No, there's actually an event called it's through NEVCA, and they're just called on pitch events.
Yeah,
They're actually
New
pretty
England
good.
Venture Association.
Yeah, they're super early stage.
Yeah.
Cool.
You don't have to have a pitch deck. Do you guys want to know the story how Elon actually raised? I believe he just made this after for SpaceX at least. I believe his main pitch deck was I just want to go to Mars, and he just asked a bunch of his friends that. So on pitch, it kind of feels like that actually, where you just kind of talk about what you want to do, and then you don't really have a pitch deck associated with it. But the pitch deck, yes, does help.
Feels like a stoner moment, right? Just.
So
go
it's
to
kind of
Mars.
just brainstorming.
Well,
I mean, you have to pass a filter. You still get filtered out, but
And Elon was pretty established at that point, but
I was gonna say,
Oh.
if you have credibility as an individual, then
Yeah.
like who you are as a person matters so much more than almost anything else, right? Even like the pitch deck, like I know John and I have beef about this, but like most of my pitch decks, like they look like garbage. It's literally just like text on like a slide and like nothing else, right? But like the text on the slide, like if Mark Zuckerberg got up there, like with a Google Doc,
like
and
clip
it was
art.
like companies called Facebook, you know, it has 1 billion users, you know, we make 30 billion in revenue. Like, do you want to buy, you know, 1% for $10 million? Everyone would be like, yeah. Like, we'll take the deal. Like, what actually matters at the end of the day is like what you're building and who you are, much more than
your credibility to execute.
Exactly, or like what the actual, like the numbers are going to matter so much more than like the way that necessarily the way you present it or any of those things. So
Yeah, I definitely
like pitching's
over-design
definitely
everything.
an important skill.
There just has to be something material behind what you're pitching.
Like
Yeah.
the investors aren't dumb. Like they're smart. Like they're smarter than me, right? Like they're rich for a reason. Like I feel like there's this attitude oftentimes, particularly with like people like early founders are like, oh yeah, VCs, like they have money, so they just want to like throw it around. It's like, no, like they know, like they're rich for a reason. They know how to allocate it properly, and it's way easier to just actually build something worth investing in than to try to like trick them into like, you know, like going for your thing when you don't really, like a lot of people, they try to fudge the numbers or make the user activity look higher than it is, and like it all comes out at the end of the day, at least in my experience.
I have a question.
Hey guys, I gotta head out. It was nice meeting you all.
All right, buddy.
Yeah,
I'll
meeting you
catch
for
you at the
later.
next one. All right.
Thank
I
you.
gotta do that too. See you guys.
Cool.
Awesome event.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Paris really walking out of the office. That's funny.
Cool. I'm gonna
Vlad.
head out as well.
Yeah. Vlad, quick question. How many slides in your deck?
How many slides?
Yeah. It's about.
Can I share my slide deck?
Yeah.
Or can I share my screen?
So this is streaming on YouTube. So just be.
Oh, this is streaming on YouTube?
Yeah,
Wait, are there a lot of people online?
No. I'm just starting out, buddy.
100,000?
No.
Like 100?
No. 2.
Wait, it's a live stream on YouTube?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's go. Yeah. So we have two sets. So we have one that's essentially 10, 11 pages, and then I have another separate one that's more in depth, and that's like close to like 15.
Yeah, I have the same.
But like realistically, so I've raised angel money, and you know, I don't think, especially when it comes to like if you try to raise money, by the way, I think what your goal is essentially, it doesn't really matter until it hits Series A, because that's when a lot of the safe / whatever, you know, promises you ended up giving to your like early stage investors are essentially converted into equity, right? Series A tends to be that stage.
Mhm.
Also, I don't know if you fully really realize it, but like a lot of these M&A stages are actually kind of made up. They're not real. Like they're just something people use as reference. Do you know what I mean? Like there's nothing in paper that says this is a Series A. Well, there is, but like usually it doesn't really matter, because like it could be like Series A1, A2,
Right.
A3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It depends on how much like equity you kind of give up, and like the name of the game is really controlling the most equity in your company, because the biggest exit you can have is especially when it comes to like tech platforms, right? Because they can own so much of the market, is like the equity component. Right, like MailChimp, I believe they didn't raise any money, and you know, billions.
Yeah.
In terms of like sale, so. Yeah.
Yeah, I struggle with like the like the desire to build something to exit. Like.
Yeah, so we actually help with exit planning. That's
Yeah,
our thing. And so you struggle with that component. However, so I ran my family business, and actually most small medium businesses have to exit at some point. Like, you know, imagine that pizza shop, or you know, that shoe store, or what have you. They have to exit at some point.
That's wild to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, and people kind of forget about that, but there's also like policy around that. Like, meaning there's like legal tax policy. And like it's actually very good to be a business owner, because like I'll give you some stats here. So essentially there's roughly like 33 million like SMBs in the US. And then of them, about 2 million of them actually employ more than like, I believe it's like 9 people. So like say you want to like go like lower middle market tends to be like a good space, because a lot of like, you know, small medium business is very Wild West like.
Mhm.
But the thing that a lot of people kind of forget about is like you should be selling your company at the end of the day in some capacity, and even now that's being more formalized. So that's kind of the thing that I'm trying to help with. And there's actually so much tax incentive for this to happen. So meaning like, for example, if you want it, so instead of like building an app or building like a company, because I think some people kind of forget there's a difference between building a company and then building an app, you know?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So, but I don't know, was that too much? Like,
No, like, yeah. I don't know.
what are you trying to build?
So right now our focus is on building a virtual co-working space that like
Like
shares.
similar to Gather?
Yeah, so leveraging the Gather platform, leveraging this office platform, I want to build something similar to like Mass Challenge in a sense where I can offer virtual space, co-working pods, and then shared resources, as in bringing in advisors, consultants, freelancers, organizing community events within the Gather space. Yeah, and then our biggest like value prop right now is like being able to help digital product professionals and entrepreneurs build their personal brand. Because like, you know, I don't know how much you post on LinkedIn or how much like you build your personal brand or even your company brand, but it's for myself and a lot of people I've talked to, it's difficult, right? Like it's not top of mind to like be a thought leader on LinkedIn.
I
right?
have a bot that does it. It just automatically does it. I use AI, you know what I mean? It just does it for me.
Fair.
So how similar is your idea to the metaverse?
I mean, we're leveraging. I mean, this is the metaverse in a sense. So
Yeah.
I'm just leveraging the tool itself, and then
Okay.
building something within it. Yeah, I definitely and I mean, I use AI to help me script a lot of my posts as well. But there is going to be a problem in said number of years, if not months, where our feeds are just AI generated, jargon.
I think it's already there. That's the thing. I'm
Yeah, I
kind
think
of
so too.
like I've kind of accepted. I've accepted that since 2019, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the metaverse is kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really into the whole AR part of it. Is AR part of the metaverse? Just kind of curious, like augmented reality.
I couldn't be the one to tell you that. Kayla might have been able to, but not. I would say no, but I don't know.
Where's
for sure.
the thin line?
Yeah, where is the thin line exactly? Yeah.
Because I mean, Zuck told me it's I can put on these glasses and I can work with my coworkers.
Yeah, I mean the Apple Vision Pro essentially was
Yeah.
the closest thing to bringing an AR metaverse.
Yeah, to the real world. Well, wasn't the big pitch when Zuckerberg pitched the metaverse like you could co-work with your coworkers
Yeah.
and you just put on these glasses or whatever?
Yeah, put on the goggles and you see them kind of virtually within the same room as you. Everybody has like a little avatar.
I guess why do you want to do that whole world so much? Just kind of curious. Because
Oh.
I've never
Yeah, I mean, I'm passionate about startup communities and startup process, and I just want to build something that people love and people will use and add value to people's journeys, because I know how hard it can be and how much we need resources. I mean, you're literally in Mass Challenge, and like it's going to be a massive push for your progress in your startup. So that not only just for entrepreneurs but digital product professionals working remotely, deal with isolation, deal with accountability, deal with, again, personal branding is not at the forefront of their thought, but personal branding helps. I mean, even what like Henry was saying, like who you are opens doors more than whatever your pitch deck is or whatever your resume says.
I think this specific, like the metaverse specifically, for me, the way I view it is because I'm a millennial. I feel like it's really good for like what is it, Gen Alpha and like that whole generation.
Yeah, probably.
Because I feel like they would highly be more adaptable to this working arrangement versus because especially like for us, I have a Gen Z person and like it's really hard for her to like focus. But like this is actually apparently very conducive to like generating focus.
Yeah.
How about like just bridging talent worldwide? I mean, you
That
have
too.
so much talent all around the world, and with like talent scouting agencies,
Yeah.
kind of like staffing solutions.
So
And all
yeah,
that.
so in a sense, this would
Do
almost
you think
be
like
like a
staffing solutions could
yeah.
be a big part of AI and the metaverse?
Yeah. Essentially, like what I'm trying to build is just a glorified Discord or Slack channel, but like skewmorph to like something relative, and I think the approachability within the way we can just walk around and like talk to each other and go into different pods, and you don't have to like send a message or anything like that. It's
Yeah, I suspect the like focus is a big aspect of it. I'm curious, like, because like for example, we have a remote team right now, and like sometimes I worry about like people aren't focused on things.
Yeah.
So we have like bots that like ping them and stuff. But I suspect because like people grew up with like gaming and slash like video games, and especially Gen Alpha, I wonder like if there's like studies because you are you familiar with like Roblox? I don't play video games.
I play a
But
little bit.
obviously like yeah, I grew up like making like automation tools. That's my thing. I really like making automation stuff.
Nice.
But the like Roblox is huge right now, right? It's like a multi-billion-dollar thing. Is that like, are you familiar with that?
No, I'm gonna look it up right now. Roadblocks.
Yeah. I think it's like similar like content like this actually, like this view.
Is it Roblox game?
Roblox.
Yeah. RBOLOX.
Yeah, Roblox. Yeah. It's like a massive market, and you basically have like Gen Alpha and like Gen Z creating like their own like ecosystems there, and it's apparently it's like super wild, like how crazy these like economies are on there. Like I think it's like similar to like there's like similar like office spaces now there as well.
Yeah. Just briefly looking over it, similar, but with a focus on digital product professionals and entrepreneurs and like the working aspects of your day to day. Yeah. What?
No, I mean like there's a bunch of like creators like creating like I think they're like apps or like they're using that ecosystem to to plug into.
Yeah, like this looks like genuinely the metaverse. Like this is what people imagined, right? When you think of the metaverse, a virtual world where almost anything's possible.
Wait, Aiden, are you in Boston as well?
Yes. I study at BU.
Oh, what do you study?
International finance. I just came here to get a perspective on startups and just just the tech scene here in Boston, I guess.
Where are you originally from?
Chicago.
Oh, cool. We have office space in Chicago.
Oh, cool. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. That's actually where we're incorporated out of. So
are you from there, or you have people who you founded the company with that are from there?
Yeah, we just got office space there. That's it. It's like offered.
What made you guys choose Chicago though?
There was a zip code, so the building we're incorporated out of, the zip code is the building.
Okay.
So I thought it was kind of cool. So that's why we did it.
You have people working there, or you just have the?
No, we just have the space. It's like a co-working space. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're considered like innovation spaces.
Okay. Do you guys have a headquarter, like a HQ?
No, not really. Because early stage is like very chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean technically our HQ is the Chicago office, but like no one's there, and it's just like a virtual office essentially.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I get pinged. You have like Slack notifications, and like I get like mail forwarded, but not really. Yeah, and then obviously I'm mostly in the Boston area.
I can't believe how long Roblox has been around.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't.
And it's a multi-billion-dollar org.
Yeah.
Big. I feel like Minecraft and Roblox are kind of like, they're like partners.
Yeah, I see similarities.
Wait, Aiden, have you had internships or anything of that sort?
Yeah, I have. I've worked as like an AML case analyst for PwC Talent Exchange. So that was like a compliance sort of finance role in banking. And then, some accounting internships and finance internships.
Did you just have to like go through Excel files and stuff?
Some of it was like that. Some of it was like making presentations. And yeah, I guess yeah, it's a wide array of different kinds of roles within finance and accounting.
Yeah, I'm trying to replace a lot of the like the grunt work that's done at the lower like M&A like slash like PwC, like not like AML. AML seems really hard, but like
Yeah,
due diligence.
a lot of AML processes are also pretty repetitive. You know,
Yes.
it's very manual.
Yeah, but sometimes I wonder like how, I mean, like I sometimes get curious about this is like who actually enforces the AML stuff on the S&P side, and I think it depends at what level. So like when you were doing the AML stuff, that's probably when like a company's doing like more than 100 M in revenue, most likely.
They were actually for like client accounts, so they could be private accounts or business accounts. So yeah, we're working with accounts of the bank's clients. You know.
Oh, of the bank itself, and then oh, that's
Yeah,
why.
of
Oh,
the
that makes
actual
sense.
bank. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, interesting. Do you know? Are you familiar with like AML law and stuff?
AML laws.
Yeah.
Not the most familiar. But yeah, they give us training on these things.
Interesting.
Are you like in any like clubs or part of any groups at BU?
Yeah, for sure. I think just with clubs like different finance clubs and and like gaming clubs that are not really a part of VU, but they're like gaming
Right.
societies and communities here in Boston. Like I just went to a indie gaming talk,
Nice.
indie gaming talk at MIT, and then yeah, game developers, a game developers community that meets at the Microsoft Center in Cambridge.
Nice. Do they have any like co-op
Wait.
programs or anything?
Co-op programs. Yeah, I'm not so familiar about co-op programs. Like, what are co-op programs?
I believe it's like an internship where I'm gonna go. Hold on one second. I'm gonna go meet somebody. Somebody
Oh, yeah, no.
somebody just joined the office. Hello. Hi, Rathi. Can you hear me? I believe you're on mute. If you can hear me and you want to join us, we'll be in the conference room to the left. All right.
Do
Sorry about that.
teamwork in school. Just really just hopping on a Zoom is actually more conducive than, you know, arranging to meet up at a certain place. It's much more time efficient because, you know, the commute could take time and it might not really be convenient to commute into the city.
Yeah, but like that white space. So for example, I feel like this specific like platform like right now, right? This like fills in a void of like this white space. You know what I mean? Like us, like me walking around. You know what I mean? This is like a white space moment I would consider. Like see like
Oh,
that. Like
And I
someone's
guess,
like,
yeah, like creating your avatar.
yeah. I mean, I think that's what Metaverse is trying to help with.
But
Yeah,
I
mean,
guess, yeah, for some more conservative corporate, you know, beliefs or ideals, they would consider this extremely unprofessional.
well,
You
I
know?
mean, well, I don't know, because like I've actually seen this pitch. So I was at a conference maybe like I want to say 2 years ago as well, and they were like Gather was like really pushing their platform, but one of the aspects they were pushing was that it'll help your employees focus more. And like sometimes I wonder like, well, I didn't actually research it more into like studies, but I feel like that's the truth. You know what I mean?
Really?
But yeah, I feel because like for me even right now, like I feel like more engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel pretty engaged as well. I guess sometimes like when you have meetings in person, you'll just kind of wander off and you'll look off to the spaces in the office and whatnot, you know.
Well, like what I mean is like especially when I'm like virtual. So like when I'm like doing my own thing, sometimes I'll like get distracted by things. Versus this is very like you know what I mean focused virtual. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, like you're focused on.
Yeah, not really.
So, like,
but
I feel you, Vlad. So like a Zoom conference is just a bunch of picture windows, right? It's just video windows, and like it's easy to
Yeah, I'll use.
it's easy to look
Yeah.
off to the side and start, either working or scrolling through Instagram.
Yes.
Whereas this feels like I'm in a room, like I feel there's like a skeuomorphic aspect to it, right? Where I feel like I'm in a room with you guys chatting, right? So like my attention is on the conversation.
it feels more intimate.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, good call.
Is that
Yeah.
how you would say it?
For example, like if I were to step outside the office, right, and then like obviously I love that. Like, it's awesome. But then like if someone's like outside and then like,
Oh, so it's like a private area.
well, yeah, I mean, it just kind of feels more like randomness, so that like white space kind of gets filled.
Also, when you were talking
Yeah.
about like what Gen Alpha or like Gen Z, like I don't know, I'm not gonna say I read a study, but like I remember reading somewhere where just having little like micro distractions, like you need something every like half hour just to like do something and then get back to the work, right? Like so like just walking around this office could be it.
So
Right?
these are like generational differences. You're speaking of
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
generational differences that are created through exposure to technology, right?
Yeah.
But how about consider, let's say, the much older generation, like the boomer generation and all of that? How do you think they would respond to these sorts of proposals of online work and virtual spaces? Do you
Well,
think they would be very adamant to accepting it? There's
well,
the
I don't
saying,
think
you
this
can't
is-
teach
yeah.
an old dog new tricks. How can they adjust to this sort of environment?
Well, I don't know if it's actually like targeted towards them, because like for me, I mostly like this because like especially targeting towards like a Gen Z / like Gen
Mhm.
Alpha, whereas like because for me, I'm concerned about like how much focus someone has, right? So I especially notice this with like Gen Z and Gen Alpha people where like they lose a lot of focus when it's like very remote,
Mhm.
and it's kind of annoying because then like the productivity like it shows in the work versus
Yeah.
like obviously like a boomer / I don't
Gen
can I
Y,
just call
I
them
think.
boomer?
Yeah, Gen Y, boomers. Yeah.
Boomer and Gen Y, yeah.
Yeah. Are yeah, they prefer like in person because I guess they like that, but their output actually shows with that as well. So that's kind
So
of the way I'm
let's
thinking
say
about
you
it.
have like a boomer or Gen Y running a company and you want to propose
Oh, that's a hard
a
work.
metaverse sort of environment to them. Do you think they would accept it, or they'd just be like, no, not at all?
I would say
I
the
mean-
majority would look at it as distraction. Like they would think of this as a distraction, whereas
Mhm.
I think evidence for like what Vlad was saying with Gen Alpha and Gen Z, it works in the benefit of the productivity.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, like I have like well, I just like one contractor. She's in marketing. Like she's supposed to do all marketing stuff. But like she always gets like she can't like keep a deadline. Like it's kind of wild to me unless like I'm constantly
Mhm.
pinging her or like she's like on something and it's I suspect like something like this would probably force someone to like be more of like aware of like their like work,
Yeah.
and not like force, but like what I mean, be more aware of it, I guess. Because I wonder if there's Wait, do people like work? Do people actually like work through here? Like, is there like a
Yeah, I know people
is
that
it like a computer screen?
so like I know companies that have adopted this for certain departments.
Yeah,
I know
that would make sense.
Yeah, I know one company that has their video department adopted this, and this is their main conferencing platform. They use over Slack or Teams. Just that particular department, not the whole company, but that one department does all their stand-ups and all their meetings in here. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that would make sense.
there's benefits in there. I mean, I think it matters to the team and the people and how they work and they prefer. Because yeah, I have not. So like I've introduced this to my company I work for, and like it's a fun thing that I throw at them every like once a month on like Fridays, right? Like, oh, let's do our stand up and gather, right? Like it's just something fun. We can like ooh, it's fun, but like I would never suggest this to replace any our Slack or anything like that because it wouldn't function well for us.
Yeah, I can sync up my calendar through here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, Gather's an awesome company, and they're
Yeah,
constantly
I
innovating.
had a question that's not related to the metaverse or productivity, but it's actually more so about VC and private equity and the culture related to that. Do you think working with investors and trying to raise money, like cultural differences can play a huge role in speaking about the investor versus the person who's seeking the investment? Cultural differences, as in just literal like speaking about international cultures. Like, let's say you're an American investor and someone from another country is seeking you out, or just vice versa. Do you think cultural differences can really impact these decisions?
I don't think I can make a blanket statement. I think it would definitely rely on the individual themselves because I think some people like the comfort, uh, and there's cultural differences, there's language differences, there's expectations of how things are going to go that might not be laid out in the early stages. So I think obviously some people probably like a little bit more comfort of working with people that work similarly to them, and others like getting out of their comfort zone and getting out there and exploring and working with people that they're going to learn from. They're going to learn something new from.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, I've worked with multiple. Wait, did someone else join? Oh no, okay. I mean, I definitely think cultural differences definitely impacts the investor slash founder relationship, but that's also, it can be a good thing as well.
Yeah.
So, but I wouldn't like worry about like
Same.
say like a VC wouldn't invest in you or someone wouldn't give you money because you're not from their culture, because I don't think that really matters.
I don't think
I
so
mean,
either.
I don't know, but I'm also speaking as an American, so. But I'm foreign. I'm Ukrainian American, so.
Yeah, I think Aiden, it was similar to what we were talking to in the beginning, like building those relationships, being authentic, and working that is your best foundation. Like, because like what Vlad just said and what Henry was saying earlier, like investors are smart. They understand money. They understand the business of making money. So
I disagree with a bit about investors are smart fit, because I've literally have met some of the craziest people now.
That's fair.
Like,
yeah.
I know there's one kid who literally he just like inherited like 30 million.
Okay.
And,
yeah. That's exactly what
yeah,
I was thinking too. I was like, there's tons of people in finance and investment that got there, like through.
I mean, because I used to work family offices, and this exact like same scenario. There was actually a whole like at JPM. Like
Yeah.
I have a couple friends that worked on the family office side, and this is like was literally their main job. It was like when someone like fell into like extreme wealth, they would like work with JPM to like figure out how to like not blow it.
To not blow it. That's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, this one guy I know here in Boston, like he literally just bought a boat the very first time. He
Got a boat.
Yeah. And now he's like trying to spend like a stupid amount.
Yeah,
But a lot of, especially angel investing, right? Like early stage investing, it's all really, it's just like, it's whether or not like the person likes you, like realistically speaking.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Yeah. The first thing is the actual relationship building, and followed up by, do you have an actual validated product or service? Like, is your company can actually succeed?
So it's just
and everything else is
credibility.
and everything else is a far distant second or third.
Like, your idea of being material. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, well, thank you so much for the chat today.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
I thank you both. I really appreciate you both. I gotta prep for my next meeting too. So awesome chatting with you guys.
See you guys.
Hope to see you again.
Bye.
Bye. That was so much fun. Can't wait to do it again. For all those watching, thank you for watching the first Boston Startup Mixer. Got this on. I appreciate you and have a wonderful day.